All right, I'm going to admit this is my favorite interview of the year.
How long's it been?
Mainly because, and I have my name on the side of the screen. This guy needs no introduction. Rick Mount joins us from for Golden Black Live and Saturday simulcast. But Rick, first, we're having our lunch at Stookies, and the good folks at Stookies, we're going to hit that. But we've been doing that for years, all the way. I got invited to this only because I was Bob King's valet, and you were nice enough to bring me in, and it is a privilege to be able to do this. But Rick, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Yeah,
we're going to buy you lunch.
Oh, you buying me lunch?
Absolutely.
I thought I was going to have to buy.
No, it's your turn, but we're going to buy it anyway. So, we got all.
You must be making a lot of money. You must be getting some of that NIL money.
It's funny. We would have had fun if we'd recorded the last 10 minutes of our conversation. It wasn't off color, but it was pointed on. We talked about our health. We talked about everything else. But this is going to be a fun show.
I hate to talk about NIL money because I just look back and say how much I could have made.
I know.
When I was at Purdue, $5 million.
I don't know. I think we've been in that level, but
or somebody else would have given it to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, let's talk a little Purdue basketball. Obviously, the Boilermakers had a tough loss on Tuesday night at Michigan. You lose games sometimes, but this is a pretty good basketball team. And we talked first about Braden Smith and how good he's been, but put that in context from where you're watching these games and what are you seeing?
He's pro.
Yeah.
He's got the pro jumper. He does everything I talk about in camp for 50 years. Yeah. He gets up in the air and he can take it off the dribble. He can stand and shoot. And there's three guys there. You get Wren and you get Lawyer and Smitty. Smitty's got to have a big night every night. If Laura can jump in with 15 or 20 and Wren 15 or 20, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
The problem is we can't have people coming off the bench don't want to step up.
Yeah. Well, Lawyer and Kaufman-Wren foul trouble has been an issue for Kaufman-Wren of late, and it was certainly on. And you've never played a road game when the referees were a little bit tough on the road. This was a little bit challenging.
No. I always said that the Big Ten referees were homers.
Yeah.
And a guy says he was a Big Ten referee, and I saw him at a clinic, and he says, "You were my favorite player back then." I can't remember the Big Ten referee.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, thank you." I said, "Let me ask you something." And I looked him in the eyes, and I said, "Why were you guys, when we played at home, you were homering us good. I mean, you were giving us the calls.
Yeah.
But when we went out on the road, we didn't get no calls. You were homering us." And he just laughed.
That's because they got to get out of the gym alive. That's part of the deal.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Now, and we always are gracious with your. There's nobody that's a bigger shooting expert. We'll talk about you're still doing it, and still you said you're going to do it to age 80, and you're only 47 years old right now. So you're
47.
So you're good. But let's talk. Let's take us through Fletcher Lawyer. We had this conversation last year, and we talked about his need to get a little more elevation in that shot. Somebody listened to it. He's doing it. But talk about how good he's been shooting a three this year and doing some other things in his game that makes him better.
Yeah, last year he was kind of towing it and he wasn't jumping.
Yeah.
And shooting a little bit low, which if you don't elevate off the floor, that gives you more where you can shoot above your head a little bit better. He's doing that better. I think sometimes he hits about 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And he kind of, where'd you go?
Yeah.
That's when you hit another 3 in a row or 4 or 5 in a row. You tell Smitty, "Hey, I'm hot right now. Give me the ball."
Yeah.
And he's shooting the ball well. He shoots free throws good. He's playing really good. I'd like to see him get up. I saw him the other day take one dribble and then another one, 2 dribbles.
Yeah.
And he jumped up on it.
Yeah.
Right over a guy, which I like to see that.
You like elevation. I mean, that's
if people saw me play, I got up in the air and I finished above my head, and I had a really good first step, and I had real quick footwork into my shot.
Yeah.
So and I played off my balanced leg.
Yeah.
See, a lot of guys, they have to let that balance pick it up, And then when they pivot and that right leg, say if I'm going right, my inside leg's my balanced leg. And when I pivot around there, they got to wait till this foot, the right leg hits the floor, and then they gather.
Yeah.
See, I gathered on my inside leg. Soon as my outside leg hit, I was up in the air. Right. And that's, I killed people with that.
2,323 points later, it worked, by the way, when he did that.
72 games.
Yeah, and I know. 72 games. I know that Zach Eady guy. He did more games. You love Zach Eady as a player, but
I like him as a player, and I think he's a hell of a player. But he told my grandson, Jordan knows one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah.
And the assistant coach called him up and says, "You wouldn't believe what Zach Eady said about your granddad."
Yeah.
He says he was very disappointed in me.
Really?
That I didn't call him.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I said, if it was 72 games, I would have called his ass. Excuse my language.
No, that's all right.
But it was 137 games. Yeah. And hey,
Mark. You got Mark my teeth rolling up. Last week's guest too. But, no, I think that it was apples and oranges on that front. He did a few more games than you did. I get it.
Yeah, but give me 137 games. I'd had 5,000 points.
There you go.
Zach, I would have had 5,000 points.
Yeah, there you
go. Not whatever you got.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah.
You're the scoring leader right now.
And he did, like you said, he worked at his craft. He did work like hell at trying to become a player, and that's something I know you appreciate as a player.
He's big.
Yeah,
he's bigger than South Central.
Yeah,
I don't think he was good, but
he is bigger. Good. All right, I want to ask you about
nobody was good as South Central.
The question of the week is, if you can cure them, you're all set. Miles Colvin and Cam Heidi, in terms of what are you seeing? Because both those guys are getting a lot of looks. They're not. Miles is really struggling shooting the ball, at least as of this recording. Well, what are you seeing from them?
Well, Coleman got too much forearm. He really takes that forearm really hard.
Yeah.
Instead of a little bit of forearm, and then just think, break your wrist, a lot of fingers.
Yeah.
People say, well, what was your ingredients for having that soft touch? A lot of fingers. Yeah. I use a lot of fingers there. But I watch him. When he gets above his head, his forearm goes too hard, and this touch on it is too hard. Yeah. And he's got to lighten that up and hit that wrist.
He looks good other than that, though.
Yeah, his shot looks good, but that's where he gets in trouble.
Yeah.
And got a lot of physical talent. Yeah. But and then Heidi's
had him open looks, and he looks good too. Is there any flaw that you see?
Yeah, he don't jump.
Okay.
He toes it.
Yeah.
He's lazy.
Yeah.
And by God, if I'm going to come off the bench and play 20 minutes a game or 15 minutes a game, would you think you would jump on your shot to help our team win?
Now, he jumps every other place.
But he don't make them.
Yeah.
Alan.
Yeah.
That's what I was sitting there cussing him in my easy chair. What the heck? Get him out of there.
Yeah.
I don't, but he's got great physical talent. Hey, Hyde got great physical talent, but you got to knock him down. And if he don't knock him down and Coleman don't knock him down, so I see Michigan was doing the other night. Most teams play a 2-3 zone.
Yeah.
And they move the two guys out.
Yeah.
Okay. But that can be had.
Yeah.
Off the 5 out.
Yeah.
With a pick.
Yeah.
What they did, this guy's pretty smart.
Yeah.
For a young guy.
Yeah.
He played a 3-2.
Yeah.
And move that line out.
Yeah.
So now if you pick off the middle guy in that zone, your two wing guys are standing right there. And Smitty, that's when he kind of didn't score much.
Yeah. Didn't score for after the 9-minute mark, first half.
And it was that 3-2.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And and you can talk about. I wish they'd have won, but Michigan's. I like those three big white guys.
Yeah.
It don't mean I'm racist.
Yeah. I hear
But they'll jar your teeth.
Yeah.
You know, those two guys that start, they can both shoot from out. They shoot free throws good. The guy coming off the bench is okay shooter, and but he shoots free throws good, and they'll jar your teeth, man. You better have some guys up front, and first, whatever.
Yeah, Caleb first. Yep.
First. I think he needs to get a little bit meaner in there.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, come on. You're the big guy. Get on those boards and act like you're a man.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're playing Division I basketball. I know you're going to be a doctor and all that, stuff. Great. But when you're in that ball game, let's get tough. Hey,
I'm going to bring him out.
You don't have to like me. I'm an old man, but I've been through the war, see?
Matt Painter would argue he has done some really good things defensively. Tough around the basket, I think, is one of his biggest challenges.
And I don't disagree with that one.
Yeah,
but see, when I played, I didn't play any defense. I was too pretty to play defense. I let all those ugly guys play defense. You know that, Alan.
No, I thought you did. I thought your credit. George King credited you for the great Charlie Scott shutting him down in that game.
Shut him down.
So what'd you do in that game? This is the national semifinal, maybe Purdue's greatest victory ever over North Carolina. Go ahead.
But you know why I did that?
Why?
Because in the week before the tournament, I mean the Final Four, they said we're going to put you on Charlie Scott. Get ready. And shut him down.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they would tell me, "Don't get in foul trouble."
Yeah.
See. So my mindset, because I worked in because I never heard the crowd.
Yeah.
I was in a focus mindset every night in a zone.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about, and and so I got me in that zone.
How are you, brother?
Yeah.
We have another.
So now that's why I scored 12 points and shut Charlie Scott down to 2 and blocked his shot.
Yeah. So when you look at this,
I was at that game.
Yeah, there you go. There's Mike King making a cameo.
Yeah, what were you, about 8 years old?
Yeah.
Did your old man get you tickets?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
his little girlfriend was up there with him.
Yeah, no, he only had time for.
We're talking about Mike King here.
Yeah.
That was at Louisville, and Jim Delaney was on that team.
Yeah, you're right.
Jim Delaney.
Eddie Fogler was on that team.
Fogler.
Yeah, that's right.
They all tried, but they couldn't do that.
All right, make no mistake. What do you see about the rest of the Big Ten? You watch a lot of college basketball, and the teams you like this year. Auburn's been really good. On down the line, the landscape. Purdue last year was the elite of the elite. They may not be there this year, but what are you seeing about in the conference? Can Purdue half game out? Can they win the league? Do you think?
Yeah, they can win the league. There's about 5 or 6 teams that can win that league.
Yeah.
In Illinois.
Illinois, now that they're physically healthy, we're going to be tough.
Indiana looks a lot better, but I hate to say that because they know that Woods is leaving, so they're relaxed now.
Yeah. And Purdue's got to go down there next
yeah,
Saturday.
That's right.
So,
and you got Michigan, and anybody could beat you. IU went over and beat Michigan State the other night. There's about 6 teams could win the Big Ten, and I'm not saying 2's going to win it. It might be 4 losses.
Yeah, well, Purdue's got 3 now. So,
but they got a tough schedule.
Yeah, they got to go. They got Wisconsin on Saturday. They go to Michigan State.
Yeah.
They go to Illinois, and of course they go to Indiana. That's going to be a challenge. All right, tell me. Again, you're 39 years old. We keep saying that. Tell us about what you're still teaching shooting. We get that question a lot. Is he still doing it? Tell us about your schedule and what you're still teaching kids how to shoot the basketball, and that's a big part of your life.
Same old way, Rick Mount way.
Yeah, and you got 3 camps?
I put 3 on there this year.
Okay.
At every hall.
And how does somebody, if they want to send somebody down, how do they do that?
I'm on the internet, rickmountshootingschool.com.
You're on the internet, man. That is awesome.
Well, I gotta get on there.
I know that. That part is no. I'm just kidding yourself. All right,
but I'm on there. That one I'm shooting off the wrong foot. I think I was first basket.
Mackey Arena. Well, yeah. Well, it was your first shot.
I was shooting over Lucius Allen.
Yeah.
And but I was off the other foot.
Well, that's because you had a plate.
I brought that right foot up. I had the right shoulder back, and I had it up here.
Yeah.
Usually my right shoulder was a little bit of lead, but that was on there. That was. That's what started it all.
Well, that brings me. That's the perfect segue. He's talking about the dedication game in Purdue UCLA. You have been cordially invited again. Purdue UCLA February 20th. What a great time for you to come back to Mackey Arena, and I think they'd like that. I know you were back there 8 years ago.
No, they haven't invited me yet.
No, yes, this is an invitation. I was told directly. I was told directly from Matt Painter.
I'm not going to buy any tickets to get in there.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You know what? They told me that they would bring a limousine down and pick you up.
I got my big Ford 250.
All right, you can do that. They'll get you parking. I promise.
You get me parking.
They'll put you on the.
I've been there since
that Iowa game.
Since the bobblehead night.
I know, but you come back. It's going to be T-shirt night, I think. Right? So it'll be good.
It's T-shirt night.
And
do I get a free T-shirt?
Yes.
The only bad thing, I'm 6'4" now, 260.
See, the problem is I'm promising all these things that I've been told I can do. I don't know if I can deliver on any, but we'll get you tickets for your whole family and you can, and we'll get you transportation.
I'll tell you, if you can give me some NIL money, I'd be appreciative.
There you go.
I know I missed out on $5 million. I
know. The best thing about it is, at least on the Purdue pregame video, they got you on video back in your appearance back in 2016. That game was funny because you had the big halftime presentation. Purdue's up by about 17 points. I see you across the way talking to Brian Cardinal like you weren't paying any attention. Either was Purdue, and they lost that game.
They played against that little junior high press that I was playing. They couldn't handle it, and
it was hard.
I looked at Cardinal. I said, "This is a bunch of BS. I want to leave right now."
All right,
they can't break a
I'm going to give you. You got to get back in the screen here now.
Okay.
If I'm going to promise another thing that I absolutely can't deliver, I am sure, but you come on to the UCLA game and they're going to win. UCLA is pretty good though; they're playing better.
Yeah, they're not bad. They get, I don't know if they can beat Purdue
at Mackey.
But anything can happen. I mean, that's a tough league.
Yeah.
How
would you have been? Now you had to go to your junior year. You guys went to Hawaii. You went to Arizona. You went. I mean, all this travel. How would you have dealt with all this? Playing in Washington and Oregon.
Well, I did.
Same way. Yeah.
It's a funny thing. I was telling a guy on the phone. They were getting ready to play, make that Western swing.
Yeah.
Washington and
Oregon.
Yep. And I said, when they play Washington, it'll be 55 years.
Yeah.
That was my second game I ever played in the NCAA in Division I. And the funny thing about it,
you played them 2 straight games.
I think Red Mackey was drinking a bunch of scotch that night when he made that deal because we played on Friday and Saturday. We played them twice, back to back.
And you know what? And Mark might correct me on this, but the only time I can think of, now there may be another one, you guys were unranked. You play UCLA and lose that game by 2 in the last second, and you come in and you're ranked 7th in the country after a loss. But then you lost the game, and then against
we
Washington,
lost Friday night.
Yep, and then you beat them Saturday.
You come back and beat them Saturday, and then that's, we end up
15-9 that year.
3rd in the Big Ten.
Yep.
I always say 2nd because
there was a tie.
Ohio State and Iowa tied.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, and but the thing is, Blaylock got hurt at Butler.
Yeah,
he got a broken leg. But Blaylock's a good player.
Yeah,
but Babas, and people always say, what do you always say? You played on a team with 4 pros.
Yeah.
I said, Babe was
We're talking about Chuck Bavis,
Chuck
the center of that
Bavis,
team.
a
Yep.
7-footer.
Yep.
Because you're playing with Keller and Game and me. We got a perimeter offense. Nobody's going to throw it into him.
Yeah.
He got a little short change here.
Yeah. Only one basketball.
Only one basketball.
Yep.
And but I always said he would have hooked on. He averaged about 10 and 10, something like that. But then people say, well, you guys, you guys were just a one-man show. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, and I've told it before, you don't go to the national championship game with one guy.
Nope. And you had 3 guys,
We
4 guys. George Faber wasn't bad either.
92 points a game.
Yep.
Keller was averaging, I can't remember, 14 or 15, game 18, and I was averaging 32. And